me for the new wave of classic rock Webfest4 is Robert Jon of Robert Jon and the Wreck. How are you, Robert Jon?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Is that your phone?
Yep. Sorry. It's just, it's 2020. I forget to turn my phone off sometimes.
You're forgiven. You're forgiven. Now, people that don't know Robert Jon and the Wreck, you're a funky rock and soul quintet from Orange County, California. So you're also described as a team of, I love this, a team of follicular proficient troubadours. I think that's wonderful. So are you all quite blessed in the hair follicle department, would you say?
Sometimes I am and sometimes I'm not. I mean, when I wake up, it doesn't look very good. I have to maintain it sometimes.
Yeah, it's still attached. So that's...
yeah.
That's more than some people can hope for. So I think you're doing pretty well. Yes, definitely. So I want to know, when did your band form and how did it start?
We formed in 2011. I was playing, by myself a lot before that, and we kind of started the Robert Jon band, which did have Andrew, our drummer, in it. He's been with me, since before the band kind of created. But yeah, 2011, and we kind of started writing together and being more of a band opposed to a backing band that I have. So we switched up the name to Robert Jon and the Wreck, and we've been going ever since. We've been through a couple different stages of the band. The lineups change every now and then, but for the most part, yeah, 2011, and my drummer Andrew has been with me since then, as well as Steve Majora, the keyboard player.
Yeah. And considering you've been together for less than 10 years, you've done a considerable amount of touring and released a huge number of records. So tell us what the highlights have been for you with regards, say, touring. Where have you been? What's been the best?
I mean, we started off touring the States, and we didn't know how to do it. We just got in the van and started driving places and asking places if we can play. We had a couple of things lined up, and the first tour we went on, I think, was like 2.5 months through the States, which was a great idea to learn and get knowledge from what touring is, but a terrible way to make any money. And so we did that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we finally got a chance to cross over the pond into mainland Europe. I think it was in 2015 or 14. I'm really bad with dates. But yeah, and that was the first time we got to get over there, and we got a great response, and we've been going back ever since.
Did you visit the UK during that tour?
No, the first time we played the UK was last year for Ramblin' Man. And we also played, we also played one show in London right before at Big Red. And so those are the only 2 shows we've ever played in the UK. And we had dates lined up this year. But obviously, what are you going to do? So we do have a tour for the UK booked for May of 2021, and we're crossing our fingers and hoping
back a bit.
Yeah. So we're hoping we can get back out there.
And will that be a headlining tour?
I believe so.
Right. Okay. I was going to ask you next, if you know who you're bringing out with you, but I expect at the moment it's also uncertain that you probably don't really know the details yet.
We figured by now we would be certain on things, and we're still not completely certain. Anything can happen, I guess. Apparently anything can happen these days. So yeah, we're really looking forward to it. So we're really hoping that everything clears up and we can get back out on the road, because it's been too long.
Yes, it has. Now, talking about your releases again, you've just released a digital box set. Am I right?
Yeah. We just released
9 albums.
Yeah.
It seems incredible. So tell us a bit about that.
Well, we during this time we can't go out and play live, and we can't do much of anything. So we've been trying to think of cool, interesting things to do, and it's been in our mind to do this for a long time. But now we have the time and the ability to put some stuff together. So we released our whole digital discography, including there's a ton of tracks that you can't get anywhere else. I mean, tracks that I don't even have on my computer. Just of old demos and songs that didn't make it, and a bunch of live performances that we've been creating for the past few years. And it's just And the coolest part is that we did commentary on the main studio records.
Okay.
So we're all, I think there's over like 8 hours of commentary for each record, just talking about,
Oh.
how we recorded it, how the songs came to be, like trying to remember, what we did in
Yeah.
2014. And so that was really fun. And so I think it's just something special for everybody to listen to while they're stuck at home.
And it's kept you busy while you've been stuck at home. So win-win for everybody, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I want to talk about your last album. So this is Last Light on the Highway. That was released this year. So was that released before the pandemic struck, or
it was released right in the middle of everything?
Yeah, right.
We released it in May, so it was like, after things were shut down and everyone was staying home, and then right before everyone thought that everything was going to open up again, and then it didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were planning on releasing it then, back before we knew anything was going to happen in 2020. And it was always been our plan, and we had, all the PR set up and everything. And we did have a big discussion of we should release it or not. And I think it was great that we did, because I think there was a lot more attention on it because everyone's on their phones or their computers all day. Because
that's true.
If they can't go to work. So
that's it. I mean, most bands, they want to release the album, they want to tour around it pretty much, at the same time. And so many have released albums during this period and thought, well, actually, we can't tour at the moment. We will still release the album and give people something to listen to, some new music, which I think is what we need at the moment. So do you want to tell us a bit about the album? How does it compare to the previous releases?
Well, we spent a lot of time songwriting, for this record, probably more than we ever have. Is just really making sure the songs are good and the songs are well written. You can have a cool riff and throw whatever lyrics on top and hope for the best, but we kind of just put more effort into the songwriting on this record, and I think it shows. I mean, I think the songs are some of the best songs we've ever written, and if you write a great song, then recording it is almost easy because the song is just there. You don't have to work as hard trying to make a decent song good, because you already have a good song. So that's the main part about this record. I think we spent a lot of time songwriting. It turned out great. I mean, we're super proud of it.
Do you have a favorite song on that album?
I have a few. I think, if I was to pick one, my favorite one on there is called This Time Around.
Yeah.
It just has a special place inside, and it was just feel good, and it means something to me, and I hope it means something to however everyone takes it.
Tell us about the Rec podcast you've been doing. You've been running this podcast online. Is that since lockdown began?
It's been before that. We started wanting to engage with everybody on a more personal level, instead of just, hey, here's a new song we wrote, or here's a song we're playing. Just kind of get more involved in with the fans. And it just started off with us going live on a Monday night, and we said, well, if we're going to talk for an hour, we might as well record it. And then we said, well, if we're going to record it, we might as well put it out as a podcast. So it's been growing for a little over a year. It's just been great to be able to talk to everybody during this time, opposed to kind of shutting off to the world. So
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you might as well, I was going to say take advantage of this situation, but I don't really mean it in that way. I mean, to sort of, put everything you've got into reaching out to your fans, as you have been, spreading your music. And that's all we can do really at the moment, in place of going out and touring. You're doing the next best thing, which is great, If you could give one piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be?
I actually just answered this question the other day, but
okay.
It's just two words. It's just keep going.
Fair enough.
Don't stop. And it sounds so simple and really cliche, but it's true, because in the music industry, you can meet a ton of people who promise things, and a ton of people who can do something for you, and then you end up, it ends up not working out, and you can't really get bummed on that. I mean, I used to get bummed, but now you're just like, well, yeah, I wasn't even planning on that, because why would that happen? And you just keep going.
Did you ever get to a point where you nearly stopped, where you thought it's not worth it anymore, I'm just gonna, throw the towel in?
Yeah, about last week, I think. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, we're very pleased to have you here.
No, the hardest year's been this year.
Yeah.
Because we can't go out and play and tour, and that's been the hardest thing. But before that, it was never a question of what am I going to do if this doesn't work out, or what am I going to do in the meantime. It was just never had that in my head. It wasn't an option.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got that determination and that self-motivation to keep going, then that will get you through a lot of situations, a lot of things in life. So it all comes from within, really, and
especially this year too. I mean, I keep saying
absolutely,
that, but
absolutely. If you're surrounded by people that have your best interests at heart, of course, as well, then that tends to help a lot.
Yeah, and the band, as a whole, like we're all still pushing and still looking forward to the future and still trying to do the best that we can. So it helps that everyone in the band is doing that at the same time, opposed to just one person or a couple people over here kind of falling. Yeah.
Well, look, I wish you all the very best, and I really, hope to get out and see you when you're on tour next year. All being well.
Please do.
And enjoy your next visit to UK. Long overdue, like you said.
Looking forward to it.
Take care, and I look forward to your set this evening.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
This is rock and roll, burning out to my soul.